Hello heroes and villains, welcome to Multiverse. So we have played the starter mission for Day of Reckoning, so now let us go play the solo mission. And let's be brave, let us start with the Elite difficulty. So let's get this party started. And I guess I should switch to my DPS armory, and let's summon our little friend. There's a little thingy here that you can click if you want to skip the cinematics. We're not going to do that today. Actually, I never really do that, but anyway, here we are. So let us talk to our friend Esperanza.
Okay, John has learned that supernatural forces are at work here. They may be controlling my sister, forcing her to do terrible things.
Wouldn't be the first time, won't be the last. What's important is getting her out from under the thumb of whatever demons come knocking.
Agreed. Let's work together and deliver this place from evil.
Now, you don't have to play the elite content to be able to get the elite gear anymore. Pretty much any bosses will give you some renown so that you can get the elite gear eventually. But from what I understand, you're supposed to get more renown if you play the elite content. But I did not verify that myself. I saw some people say that you actually get the very same thing. Although there's one thing that you should get if you play elite missions, you should be able to get some plans to get to craft some elite gear. The elite gear you can craft is the rings, the neck piece, and the utility belt. I saw some people who thought that you didn't have to purchase elite gear anymore. That's not really accurate. There are some elite gear, as I just mentioned, that you can craft. But for the actual gear itself, you pretty much you still have to purchase it from the vendor, pretty much same as usual. And so far we're doing not too bad. People have been asking what the maximum CR will be. I'm guessing it's going to be around 475 or something. And you'll notice I don't even have the maximum combat rating from the previous DLC. Sadly, I did not play the Harley Quinn DLC all that much. I probably should have, but in preparation to this DLC, but so far, we're doing well enough.
Is this... Can you hear me? It's Voivode. I need help.
Poor Voivode. If you saw my live stream, my previous video, I sadly, you know that things don't end too well for our friend Voivode.
We'll get you out of here.
It might be why the devs decided to create a new character. It's quite possible that with an already established DC character, they would not have been able to do the storyline they wanted to do. We'll talk a bit more about the final fate of Voivode towards the end of the mission. Now, they did change the renown system so that you don't have to play the elite missions in order to be able to get renown. But seeing how we have a solo mission, I don't understand why they felt the need to change it, because if you can, one of the issues with the renown is that there's some group content sometimes that's pretty much impossible to play with random players. But if you have a solo mission that you can play by yourself, usually getting renown should not be an issue. But sadly, it would seem that the devs work in mysterious ways. There we go. Sadly, sometimes when enemies get just underneath you, you can no longer target them.
My arch-foe, Monsieur Mort, has joined forces with the servants of hell itself, demons. Thankfully, Lady Cassidy and I were able to defeat the nefarious rogue and his dread compatriots before they could complete their devilish ritual in the mausoleum.
I wasn't paying attention. I hope I did not pass up another briefing elsewhere. Doesn't matter. We're going to play this mission sadly quite a lot, so if we did miss out a briefing, well, we'll get it next time. No big deal. So let us continue.
He's hunting me. Like a cat playing with its food.
Poor Voivode. Must be terrible to be pet food or whatever she said. And one other thing I love about Quantum, even when you are playing in the DPS role, holy crap, does your crowd control work really well. I would be tempted to say that the Quantum probably has the best crowd control in the game. And when I play with a Green Lantern character, even when I play as a controller, my crowd control are nowhere this good. Nowhere this good. I often mention quantum tunneling as the reason why I love to play quantum, but the crowd control is also a pretty big factor. Let's drink a cola because that old fella was hitting us pretty hard. Let's pick up the briefing here. Once you complete the briefings, it does give you a plan to craft some base item.
This time, a grim fellow called the Batman. We foiled the gruesome villain's attempt to steal the crown jewel of Kaznia from our beloved queen's boudoir. I dare say this Joker will think twice about crossing the Dark Knight and the Laughing Hound again.
If you saw the previous video, you remember that we had to talk to this little lady over here. Sadly, we cannot talk to her anymore. Poor Jack.
Can be. I think he's jamming me. Hurry.
Actually, Jack is the one we find in the forest, so I can't recall who that was. Could have sworn it was still Jack, but wouldn't make sense in the context that she died in the forest. You'll notice I don't use my allies and backup a lot. I try to save them for, let's say, special occasions when I really need them. Because sometimes, sometimes I could use it against this little guy over here, but then when I get to the maybe next boss, like maybe the next room, we will have the next boss, then I wouldn't have my backup with me. So I try to save it for when I actually really need it, as opposed to just using it to try to save maybe 30 seconds. Those little guys did hurt quite a bit. There we go.
A demonic reliquary, by the looks of it. One of these little treasures might be what we need to drop the barrier. Have a look around, see what you can find.
Last time I tried pretty much all the treasures. There doesn't seem to be a way to be able to get through here, or if there is, I didn't find it. So let's go straight to this little thing here.
Hang on, don't touch that.
Bloody hell, that was one rough teleportation spell. Typical demonic rubbish. As soon as you're in it, stop protesting. Come find us. Think we're close by.
Although luckily, as you can see here, we can still fly. In the other version of the mission, sadly, we were not able to fly. And here we can see the 3 glyphs that we need. I should know this because I played that yesterday and I completely forget where to go, so no choice. Let's do that one at a time. So I guess we have to interact with this first. So as you saw, as soon as we entered the room, the door kind of closed on us. Let's use our friend the Batman. The cooldown for Batman is quick enough, so we should be okay. If I forget if this one... let's go. Worst comes to worst, that's not it. Oh, I lost my old friend. Evil Bell. Summoning some evil demons. I guess we got lucky. And the third one seems to be when you need to go down and down and down. I forget which one it is. I think it's this one. Let's wait a bit to heal ourselves. That should do it. Somehow I did not get my shield. I'm so sad now. As you saw, the crowd control. Did I unequip my mod somehow? There it is. Not sure why it didn't work. Oh well, doesn't matter. I probably didn't have the right timing, or I didn't do the animation all the way through. Most likely it's a user error. That happens. We'll test it out a bit later. So I'm sure you'll notice being able to crowd control the enemies did save my bacon quite a few times so far. The good thing about enemies being crowd controlled is that while they're crowd controlled, they cannot hurt you. So usually very often, I know some people will gravitate towards abilities that do the maximum amount of damage, which is fine I guess. But usually I try to consider everything the ability does. So an ability that does a lot of damage is fine, but an ability that does damage and that crowd controls a whole bunch of enemies, in my book, that's even better. Oh, and we got a feat. Not sure why. Demon's Trial. Let's go take a look, because why not? So casual, normal, elite, defeat 100 demons. Oh, didn't realize it was so much already. Although the mission is a pretty... did we click the clicky? Yeah. The mission is pretty long and there's a lot of enemies. Yesterday there was a lot of enemies also. So I guess I'm not surprised we reached 100 already. So there we go. So the door we can open the door. So again, it's simple enough. You see the 3 glyphs over there. So you need those 3 glyphs to open the door. And let's talk to our friend Constantine.
Together again. at last.
There's something about this room. Something bad.
You're not wrong, love. This is a summoning chamber. It's where they conduct the rituals to bring demons from hell to here.
I see. Can you destroy it?
I can, but there's something I'd like to do beforehand. I can bring the demon behind all this here. Might be able to put a stop to all this.
How can we help?
Looks like I'll need 2 bits of demonic essence here. Check the antechambers. They're likely to be in there.
So let's go check chamber number 1. Let's summon. So normally I would save my backups for something like this. Some sort of evil entity, evil bosses. That might be a bit more challenging than just a bunch of mobs. Although as you saw, the mobs did offer us a bit of challenge. And ideally, I focus on the boss. Like you saw, there was a bunch of minions. But there's this great line that I love. Cut off the head and the body will fall. So that's usually what I do. So you take out the boss, and then the minions usually will follow. A bit like in Phantom Menace. Or in the Avengers movie. When they destroyed the ship, all the minions went down. Even though in that case, it didn't make any freaking sense. Like in Star Wars, I guess they were all controlled by the same computer, sort of. And even then, you would think that each robot can work individually, but anyway. But in the Avengers movie, basically they painted themselves in a corner. They needed a way to be. They had to. The movie was over. They had to end the things quickly. So the solution they found was that once they destroy the mothership, everyone goes down. Even though these were not even mechanical creatures, these were living, breathing creatures. So why would they go down? One of the things, sadly, that didn't make sense in that film, but it happens. Despite its flaws, it was a pretty entertaining film. And compared to what is being made today, it actually was a masterpiece. So that should please our friend. Oh, and it's kind of hard to notice because it's pretty dark, but there is a healing barrel over here if you need it. Obviously, we did not need it, but if you do, it is there. So there's no reason not to use it.
Yeah, that'll work nicely. Ready to start the ritual?
Although there might be a feat for completing the mission without using the barrels, so maybe I messed things up. And here comes the evil Neron.
John Constantine, I should have known.
Neron, old son. Up to your usual, I see.
No, more than that, John. Much more.
Do tell.
The girl you seek, the Reckoning. I found her racked with pain, desperate to feed her cravings. Did you know she's addicted to her power? The withdrawal effects. Tragic, really. We established a contract then. She feeds her addiction, and in return, I collect the souls of her victims. And with each kill, she grows stronger. Soon, she will be strong enough to defeat your best, even the Kryptonian. I won't allow you to stop her.
You two, go deal with Reckoning. I'll deal with Neron here. Go!
Constantine got our back. So let's pick up our reward. Let's go for the belt. So you can see we got some commendation. I don't know if it's more than what we got before. It doesn't matter.
And soon I'll find you too. You'll wish otherwise.
The evil reckoning. So now we know why the DLC is called the Day of Reckoning. Reckoning is the evil mystery killer that mystery kills. I'll probably make a video talking about that a bit, about the story a bit, but sadly having a mystery that you cannot really guess who the mysterious mystery killer is because it's a brand new character that you never saw before. It's a misfire. Imagine if you saw the story Murder on the Nile, and they establish all the potential suspect, and then at the end it turns out that it's a waiter or a butler that had like 2 minutes of screen time in the last 2 minutes of the film. But we'll make a video just talking about the storyline probably later this weekend. It's worth talking about a bit because they've pretty much been I'll say bragging, but it's the wrong word. They've pretty much been bragging about how the DC Universe Online will be more story focused. But in order to be more story focused, they need a strong storyline.
Stay back, both of you.
Guys, little help here. This is crazy. Let her go, Lucia.
That's not going to happen.
Ah!
You put my bargain with Neron in jeopardy. You'll make my pain go away if I give him what he wants. Until then, there's only one way to make the pain stop. I need more power, so your little friend here has to die.
Don't! That's not who you are, sister.
Guys, help!
You're wrong. This is who I am, sister.
Ah, poor Voivode. So that's probably why they created a brand new character. They probably were not able or could not kill a DC character.
And now, I'm gonna make sure you never get in my way again.
So now let's go all out. She kind of dodged my orbital strike, but then jumped into it again. So I guess it works out in the end. I hate that. I don't know why they seem to love taking away our loadout, and then forcing us to jump. Oh, there's our shield, and then forcing us to jump through some hoops to get it back. Hate that. But as you saw, even if you don't have your loadout anymore, your mods are still working.
Stop this now, Lucia.
Where's the... So as you saw, you're pretty much stuck for a few seconds without being able to do anything. And it took a few seconds for the blue lantern symbol to appear. And now you have to summon your little robot friend again. It's one of the drawbacks of the robot sidekick. Whenever you lose your loadout, you lose your robot, and you have to summon it again. It's one of the drawback of using pets, certain pets. A brick would be another example of that. If you have an earth tank, and then you lose your loadout, you lose your friend brick as well. And sometimes as a tank, when you're in combat, it might be a bit challenging to try to resummon resummon brick in the middle of battle. Oh, where's the blue thingy? Oh, there it is.
Face the chill of the grave.
Stop this now, Lucia.
Almost there. Stay on target. I love freaking loadout. I love quantum tunneling. Did I ever mention that?
Let the blue light of hope light your way.
So, what now? Going to take me to the law? Or perhaps you're here to kill me?
You know better than that. No need for that mask now, Lucia.
Just do it. Do it! Get it over with.
I'm going to help you, Lucia. You're not well.
Help me. In some place like Arkham Asylum? Is that your idea of justice, sister? Indigo One, why are you here?
Parent justice is not sufficient in this case. I am here to bring an end to her path of death. And the beginning of another. A path of compassion.
No! There's so many. Oh God. Killed by my hand. It's too much. I can't. Esperanza, I'm so sorry.
Noc, Luzia Cavalera of Earth. You are now part of the Indigo tribe.
Oh, and then we can choose our reward. And here you can see we can choose some elite recipes. Usually I play as a controller, so let's go for the control role. And here you can see the rewards we're getting. Some commendation. So let's talk to Constantine last.
Be at ease. The Indigo tribe will show our newest member the power of compassion. We will help her bring that power to others in need of it throughout the cosmos. May compassion be with you, or as we say, Noc, farewell.
If the Indigo tribe's driving force wasn't compassion, I'd be worried about Lucia. Instead, I'm sticking with the driving force of my core. Hope. Hope that her tribe guides Lucia back to the light and far from shadow.
And again, there's a healing barrel over here. Didn't really notice it during the fight. It doesn't matter because we didn't really need it. So let's talk to Constantine.
Thought Neron might punch my ticket for good, and then he just left. Figure he buggered off when Reckoning was transformed. Why fight when someone else took the prize? Figure Lucia got a better deal from the space hippie, but not by much.
So I guess we're done here. So let's get out of here. So here we can see we got a recipe for some crafting. So let's open the box. And here we can choose weapons, utility belt, amulet. I guess the signet or the rings. And let's go for the hand blasters. So now we will have a plan to craft some end blasters. So let's consume the plan. And you can see the brilliant incandescence. We're going to need that to be able to upgrade to craft some of our gear. Let's take a look at that and just right here. So here you can see from the briefings, investigations, and collections, we do have some base items that we can craft. I'll make a video about that soon. But also here you can see there is the weapon that we can craft. Although, so you can see we'll need some ancient vellum. That's fine, we can get that easily enough. But we will need also the energy reverse empowered blasters. So we will have to purchase the weapon from the vendor. And of course, we will need 200 brilliant incandescence. That will be the tricky part. Unless we can buy that on one of the vendor, it'll take a while before we get the 200. And you have to remember, we need 200 for the hand blasters. We'll probably need also 200 for the rings. And seeing how we're going to need 2 rings, that means 400. Another 200 for the belt, another 200 for the neck. So in total, we're talking about 1,000 brilliant incandescence. So it'll take a while to be able to upgrade everything, assuming that we do upgrade everything before we get the next DLC. I guess we shall see. So there we go, guys. So this was the elite version of the solo mission. We will play the alert and the raids a little bit later.